Hey everyone, Dr. Manuel here. So I've been watching the Nolan Wells case pretty closely, and there's so many interesting things that have come up that, I'm not going to have time to get into. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is the autonomy that comes with a family structure, right? A family system. And I love that, Mr. Wells has spoken about how close he was with his son. That alone gives him the opportunity to be able to speak on his son's behalf, right? To be able to correct the different narratives that people are trying to create. And it's always interesting to me when a minority, immigrant, person of color ends up in the news that the media tries to not only discredit them, but dehumanize them. And when you dehumanize someone, it takes a lot of work, but let me say this, it takes away our compassion for them. And when individuals already have a fear, an innate fear against the population, it's not that hard to be able to dehumanize. And it happens a lot. It really does happen a lot. If you look at the statistics in terms of incarceration rates, right? Things like that, it is not that far off. And don't get me wrong, I believe that our actions have consequences. Our actions have a response. So, if we are creating or out here, right, committing crimes, there's the consequence. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that if a Caucasian individual or someone not of the minority persuasion ends up committing a crime, the first thing you tend to see is the fact that this person was a scholar, they were so active in the community. You see their names, you see them in this beautiful picture that's highlighted their wholesomeness, that highlights who they were. You see baby pictures, you see all of these friends, these things that come out of the woodworks, right? But yet, when it's a minority, it gets painted. Why were they there? What were they doing? Did they have the approval to be there? And one of the things that you'll hear in Nolan Wells' case is the fact that this was not a new circumstance for him, right? This was not, these were people he trusted. And it's really sad. I am in no way, shape, or form telling individuals to not trust your friends. What I'm going to say, really take a hard look in the people that you're putting trust in. And when things do not go right for them, how do they treat you? I've always been a huge component, and I don't remember where I saw this quote many years ago. When people don't get what they want, that's when you see their true color, their true nature. And I believe that wholeheartedly, right? When they are not given, whether it's attention, whatever that looks like, right? Their needs at that point in time are not met. You tend to see a behavior, right? And I'll talk about it in terms of for minorities. If you get into a disagreement with someone that is not of your same ethnicity or race, which are two different things, you then get called a name. How are you calling me out a name if we're friends? Goodness gracious, but it happens. And one of the things that minorities do is we tend to forgive very quickly. Again, don't get twisted. I'm not talking about unforgiveness. I'm not saying we are not going to. What I'm saying here is the fact that we lead so much with love, even though people try to dehumanize us and make it seem as though we are not for each other, that it tends to work against us sometimes, right? At no point, as I've been watching and listening to this case, have I heard anyone say, either one of the parents, the loved ones say, or acknowledge that he was not with people he trusted. At no point did I hear that. Now, I understand they're trying to say that he, was potentially with a female, he told him to leave, things like that. I am 30. How old am I? Oh, goodness. When you have to start doing the math because you can't remember your age. Um, Oh, goodness. This is a real thing right now. 39. Goodness. Oh, forgive me for that. But I am 39. And one thing I can tell you is that growing up, having your cell phone wasn't that big of a deal. It became bigger, right? But at 39 years old, if I leave the house and I leave my cell phone and I'm going somewhere for a period of time, I'm going to turn around. That cell phone for me carries a lot. For one, a lot of us may use our tap to pay if we forget our wallets, right? That's a whole nother thing. But the cell phone carries phone numbers. I have not changed my phone number in about 20 plus years, so my number has remained the same. Anyone that knows me, it is the same phone number. Unfortunately, I have a lot of friends and family members who they change their phone numbers like they change their clothes. Okay, seriously. Um, so it's not something I may easily remember. Okay, and I'm saying that to say that Nolan Wells not having a cell phone is really peculiar to me. I have younger siblings, and trust me, their cell phones is really important to them as well. And I appreciate that, Mr. Wallace, one of the things I've seen in the interviews is he is not a man that has been hiding or holding back his emotions. I can't even imagine, how difficult it is for the parents dealing and going through this. But the fact that he is letting us in and showing his genuine emotions and not allowing them right now to be covered up with anger, right? Because I've spoken about anger being a blanket emotion and usually under the anger. And of course, right now we can make an assumption that his emotions would be grief, sadness. It's inconceivable right now for me to consider what other emotions are attached to the loss of his child. And they had, it from what I hear, such a beautiful relationship. And then, of course, his mom, as a black woman, she is tasked with so many things because let's not get it twisted. They are fighting for justice for their son, but at the same time, they represent so many minorities, so many people of color, so many black kids that have lost their lives prematurely without cause. Is there ever cause? No. But when I say without cause, because of someone's fear, because of someone's inability to accept that we, people that look like me, lighter, darker, melanin individuals, are here. And we are not here to take away, we add to what this beautiful earth has to offer. However, there's so many people that do not want us here. They say it. This is not me assuming. These are things that have been said. And there's a lot of individuals who keep coming out with what they say is satire around this case. There's no way, in my opinion, which a lot of people would agree, there is no way that you can create satire from this grief-stricken family who's looking for justice. There's no way that you could say you're telling a joke, say that individuals not of the melanin persuasion, right? So Caucasian individuals get together, have meetings about who to pick, which person of color, which minority, which black person they're going to pick, befriend, and bring into the fold to be able to do that. Essentially, two of the individuals I'm thinking about right now that I've seen their videos are talking about lynching. And when they get called out for it, now they want to cry. Now that they lose things like their jobs, now that people see them for their true colors, they want to say it was not what we think it was. And I think that's so interesting because, again, how could it not be? Oh, my niece is here. But I'm going to keep talking to you guys about this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, everyone. Dr. Emmanuel here. So my niece came in real quick, and we had to take a break because she wanted to record. She recorded her ABCs. She recorded 1, 2, 3. She obviously, not obvious, but she knows more than that. Anyway, it took me a minute to get myself together because that precious little thing. But it really adds to this conversation, actually. Life is so precious, right? As an auntie, My friends, my siblings who have, kids, it's heartbreaking for me. So, as someone that has spoken about empathy, which is different than being an empath, I can empathize with others, right? When I talk about being an empath and I am watching the news outlets, when I'm hearing from those that, love Mr. Wells, and yes, it's Mr. Nolan Wells for some of you that need to be corrected on that, but I don't want to digress. My heart, like I have to limit what I watch in terms of how the news coverage goes because I will be right there in that moment in tears, really experiencing the emotions, really experiencing the energy that I feel coming through. So, we have to be able to talk about where these things are learned. Okay? So, the same way people don't want us to constantly talk about slavery, kids do not just become adults and learn hatred because that is what racism is. It's hatred. When you have that much hate and disdain for a group that you do not have the opportunity, the ability to see them as humans. You see them as cattle, as animals, as individuals lesser than you, as worse than animals. I know, unfortunately, I know individuals who identify as being racist, right? Who treat their animals better than they would treat somebody like me. And I'm saying that because it's extremely important for us to be able to recognize how we are spending our time, how we are using our platforms, and the love that we show. Because I promise you, I will kill people with kindness. The difference I am learning is that kindness does not have to take away from my space, from my peace. I refuse, unless we are talking about the Lord. I can say my piece, hear the other person's side of what they think, and move forward. When we talk about God, I get very passionate. When we talk about the creations that God has put on this earth, such as human beings, there's a passion that comes out in that because His creatures are perfect. If we are all perfect to Him, right? Because understand, we all have sin, but there's a perfection that He has created in us that dwells in us. But yet, a few of us will say we do not like a specific group. That's heartbreaking to me. And then you have kids. When I talk about kids, I'm talking about ages 5, 6, who a lot of them just want to love and play and have friends, but yet they are taught hate. They are taught not to love individuals, again, who look like me. And keep in mind, that is how we build a society that continues to be built on hate. So, I'm going to keep coming to you, keep having these conversations, but as heavy as this topic is, we'll get into some other stuff. But be sure, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.